Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mage,
And this is Cechi so.
and we'll be bringing you the second game of the tournament that we're casting. We're going to be following right along with Focus and Lawliet, but this time they may have a little bit more of a challenge in taking down Yaws and Cechi. Sorry. Cechi is the person that I've always had the most trouble pronouncing, and he tends to yell at me on the stream if I get it wrong, so we'll just try and do a good job of pronouncing his name. But last game we saw Lawliet and Focus go for a pretty convincing rollover of Shad and High Tech, but Yaws and Chehi obviously have quite a bit more experience, but do have the unfortunate disadvantage of having to play human and night elf. So we talked about this a little bit in the pregame, but
Human and undead, you
yeah, why
mean,
don't you go
right?
ahead and reiterate some of your thoughts on the combination and maybe what we can expect to see from a human undead, where obviously Paladin is not going to be able to play quite as big a role due to not being able to heal the undead player.
Mm, yeah, I think Yaws is gonna go for the quick level 3 on the Archmage and just go for harassment or some sort of timing. That usually does is the really crucial in 2-on-2. You want to hit just as soon as you hit the tier 2, so you can go cancel laws or cancel tier 2 buildings, or just yeah, go on the offensive to force one of the opponent's team to TP and take a fight they don't want to. So I think they're gonna go for a timing, and I think they're gonna try to get the Archmage at level 3 fast, and I suspect that the that Lawliet and Focus will put pressure on to Cechi, so that he doesn't get the ability to, or the free how you say, to be left alone to
Uh,
creep his Death
mhm.
Knight up to level 3.
Yep. So we do see that Lawliet's gone ahead and built an Ancient of War here to do some harassing. That's certainly something that you see fairly frequently in 2v2, but usually it's more against Night Elf players than it is against undead players. What are your thoughts on the harassing Ancient of War in the undead space?
And he's also getting Hunter's Hall and hunts to follow up with. I think it's a good strategy. It kind of keeps Seki in the back of his base, and he can't get a second cigarette. So,
Yeah, and it does look like Focus and Lawliet will both be coming to harass, and Yaws is going to be forced to be pulled off to try and help out here. We do
mm,
see Death Knight is going to pop out momentarily, so that Fiend will be in okay position, but as you mentioned, he's going to be well behind in getting that second ziggurat up, still isn't able to even start putting it up yet. And in comes Yaws. We do see that both years are here trying to harass the Fiend, take that down early on.
mm.
But Yaws has hit level 2 on that Archmage. He had the early creep on the Goblin Lab up there, and as such, he does have a little bit of an advantage compared to our other players, so it'll be interesting to see how effective this is. We do see a number of Alkalites have gone down to the combined harassment of Lawliet and Focus. Grunt looking like it's going to be very low there and will go down for Focus, so Yaws getting some early experience up here. The Fiend goes down as well, though, costing
Mm.
Checky pretty much everything he's had in the early game now. All the second Ziggurat, his Alkalites, and now the Fiend as well. So he really is taking quite a bit of damage early on from this harassment. It's just a question of how much will Lawliet and Focus be able to capitalize on it, I think.
And if you check, you were asking before if it's worth it. If you check out the tech of both Seki and Yaws right now, because he had to lab creep, he's still at Taiwan, and both Lolite and Focus are almost halfway through their tech. So that just goes to show they're gonna have sooner a second hero they can put on pressure with the Shadow Hunter. And maybe Lolite is gonna get a Keeper of the Grove or a Naga, I presume. Maybe a Naga. That's probably the most standard choice. And they can just keep on harassing. So Sechi and Yos has to creep together right now. They have to stick together to be able to fend off the harassment.
Yeah, but take a look at Yaws creeping the Knoll Overseer camp with just his militia in the top right here.
Yeah.
Um, Really pretty impressive that he's going to manage to bring that down. That should get him pretty close to level 3 on the Archmage. And what do you think happens if Yaws gets level 3 on the Archmage? Do you think we'll see them try and do a push right as Focus and Lawliet are putting up their tier 2 buildings? Or do you think they're going to kind of go back into the playstyle that Lawliet and Focus are forcing them to play?
Yeah, they ideally you want to be harassing the buildings and make a quick getaway, but I assume they're gonna go go on with creeping and do that thing because Cechi really needs those levels. He needs level 2, otherwise he's gonna be in a world of hurt. Yeah, so they're not gonna benefit that much from the level 3 Archmage, um, I think. And he's even being forced to TP right
Yeah,
now.
and not only TPing, but TPing back to his base. So now Chechi is left alone in the middle there.
Yeah.
And it does look like they're going to back off. Yaws forced to kill off one of his farms. A little bit of a poor base building choice right there. And that's going to hurt his food count as well. However, the Arcane Vault should be finished by the time that he kills
Yeah.
off the farm at least.
He has to close the base though, in case the Blade Master comes in or something. So, but it's just that he had to TP outside his yeah, outside instead of inside. So right now Seki is trying not to lose his Death Knight.
He
He
is
has to
not going to be
TP in.
happy about this.
No.
I can already imagine Chechi's comments about the Blade Master and Orc as a whole.
Yeah, but yeah, he mostly hates on Night Elf and humans, but I don't know about 2-2. Um, they're off to a pretty rough start. And Lawliet, he just took down the Goblin shop up there, and he
Yep.
got a flute of accuracy.
I
So
noticed that. So, despite not getting the Priestess of the Moon, they'll get at least a base level aura there. Definitely a good combination to have for Net Elf player. And
mm,
interesting is Chechi gonna try? No, he does not have an Alkalite there. I was wondering if he was gonna try and toss up an expansion.
he did get a panda second. That's strange to me, but I think he feels confident that he had a good start and he can creep up to level 3 and that also, but that also means that he's not gonna be able to harass as much as he might have liked to. Lawliet, that is.
Yep, we do see one notable thing. Blade Master is still level 1 at the moment. Meanwhile,
Mm.
Lawliet's managed to get both the Panda and the Demon Hunter up to level 2. Just checking around, we see he's got his Death Knight at level 2, Yaws level 3 on the Archmage. Keep has finished, and we do see it's going to be a Blood Mage as a second hero, so I feel a little bit prophetic right now in the fact that I called that early on.
Well, he can transfer mana to the Death Knight and the Lich and the Archmage, so I guess it makes sense. And he's playing against the Panda, so yeah, interesting choice.
Yeah, I kind of thought the Mountain King would be paired with a Blood Mage, not an Archmage paired with a Blood Mage, but, I'll take credit for what I can get credit for.
Mm. Yeah,
And do you see Chechi has his Lich on the way out? However, it looks like Focus may be going for a Zeppelin drop in the middle of Chechi's base. On the other side, we do see a Tree of Life going up for Lawliet. So it looks like they're getting ready to make some moves right now and see what type of damage they can deal while they have the tech advantage. And let's see.
yeah.
Chechi does have a Crypt Fiend over at the edge there. However, a Crypt Fiend not going to be able to sneak in and help out here, and this could be bad for Chechi. At least he's not in the middle of his tech, but he's going to lose at least one of his Alkalites there, and they're going to try pretty hard to take down this gold mine. Only one Raider for Web, so the Alkalites may be able to counteract this, and it does look like the Death Knight and Lich are close enough in the area where it shouldn't be too big of a problem. However, we do see slowly it's going down right now. And Blade Master really trying to pick off a few of these Alkalites, and despite the fact that now Chechi's entire army is here, it does look like it's going to be able to take down the gold mine, and there it goes. Gold mine collapses. Death Knight forced to back up as it gets to a little bit low health, and let's take a quick gander up top where we see Lawliet now starting to push into Yaws' base as well. TP coming on for Focus, so he's getting out of there. However, Chechi does not have a TP and only has 450 gold, so if he's going to buy a TP to help out Yaws, it's going to cost him dearly to do so.
And did you notice that Lawliet is just waiting outside Yaws main? He's just there to prevent Yaws from helping Sheki, I think.
I think so. Well, and we see now that Focus is on the way, so they're going to be able to pick up a 2v1, knowing that Cechi has to run over the map. So while it'll only be about 30 seconds of 2v1, that could be enough to do some serious damage, although it does look like Focus is going to check the expansion and get his Blade Master and Shadow Hunter. Well, Blade Master alone up to level 2 instead. So, yep, you're right. Lawliet there just to provide a distraction. However, he could get team 2v1 if he's not careful. Yaws is moving his army out, and we see Cechi coming up behind him. So he could lose a few of his Dryads as we speak. Focus still engaging with the creeps and will not be able to help him out for a little while, but it does look like they're not going to push too hard on this.
Yeah. The only thing they have to do, yeah, they can't really stop Lawliet from running around. They don't have anything to ensnare with, so slow is not working against Dryads, so they basically have to run after him, and that's just a huge waste of time, considering that Focus can get his heroes up to level 3 if he wants, but it looks like he's gonna harass Yaws.
Yep, he's going to harass Yaws, and we see Lawliet harassing Cechi. Yaws does have a TP if he needs to get back there, and we see Blood Mage going for Mana Drain on the Panda, so it looks like that's mostly trying to counteract that. We see Lawliet TPing out, however, Focus now in the middle of Yaws' base, going to force a TP back here by at least one of the players. And will
Did
that
you
tower be
notice that
taken down?
Lawliet has TP'd back to his Tree of Life, so they're making an expansion at the same time.
I had not noticed
They're
that,
just
actually.
coordinating. They're so coordinating really well. It seems like they've been practicing twos for a long time
Yeah,
together.
I was going to say they are playing flawlessly as a team, and I imagine that they're talking over some type of voice speak, but even more impressive if they're not.
Yeah.
And there we go. We're going
So
to
now,
see Cechi get level 2 on the Lich, and he does have level 3 on the Death Knight, so his hero level is coming along a little bit better, even if it's taking too long.
yeah. So now your Focus can creep his camps on his side of the map, the Goblin Lab and the Mercenary, for free, and he can get to level 3 if he wants. And I assume he'll do that. While the light is also at 3-3. But Cechi and Yaws are catching up in hero levels, I guess, except for Yaws having a Blood Mage level 1 that's pretty useless right now.
Yeah, if we take a look at their base, I mean, Yaws at about 160 and 540. He's already broken 50 food. We do see, actually, that Focus is going up to tier 3 right now. He's got about 500 and 600. I just spent some. Lawliet is on his way to tier 3 as well with about 300, 600, and then we see Cechi with a mere 150, 500. Look how badly his base has just been brutalized by all the harassments right now. Although, this may not be the best time as Yaws is losing a bunch of his militia to Focus, and this is pretty painful as well. Just poor timing on Yaws' part. Focus
Yeah.
is going to have to TP away, but that was at least 4 militia that went down there. Doesn't lose a unit. And down on the other side, we see again Lawliet harassing into Cechi. Did pick up 2 Goblin Zappers, so that's... Ouch, he's down to 10 food. I mean, this has just been a flawless game from Lawliet and Focus, pretty much.
Yeah, and it shows the weakness of Undead, really. They have exploited with that Ancient of War in the start, and then Zappers next to the Undead main that you can just push into the cigarettes, and wow, whoopty, now there's no base anymore.
Yep, and only 2 Acolytes left. We do see that they're going to try and push off a coordinated attack right now on Focus. Last-ditch effort to try and take a win here. If this doesn't work, then it's GG, and most likely it's GG regardless. However, they're going to put in the effort and try to pull off a victory from the jaws of defeat right now. Lawliet has TP'd in. We do see Focus going ahead, taking the brunt of most of the attacks right now, allowing the Dryads to do some serious DPS. Breaker's coming in handy here, stealing a bunch of the Spirit Link, helping out a little bit for Yaws. We see Yaws is at 52. We've got 27 for Cechi, 47 for Focus, and 58 for Lawliet. So big food advantage of about 20 food for our Korean team right now, and we see just things going down slowly. I mean, the peasants aren't even in militia form anymore. They're just here to take some damage. However, they don't have any Spirit Link on them. And the Crypt Fiends are about to start getting brutalized now as well. We've cut through most of the breakers at the start, so the DPS about to get into the Crypt Fiends, take them down early on. Really no low-level heroes yet And we do see the walkers getting a little bit of damage done to them. And actually, it looks like, despite all the low-level casters and fiends right now, Yaws and Cechi are putting up a decent fight. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough to top them, however, much closer than the food advantage would have indicated early on. Cechi's Death Knight getting low, but does have a potion of vulnerability on it, and nice use of the defensive banish, however, quickly gets taken away there by the Spirit Walker. And forced to use that potion of vulnerability, as the Blade Master does as well. Death Knight now completely vulnerable. Blood Mage is vulnerable as well. And there we go. Looks like they're going to be forced to back off a little bit. Crypt Fiend does go down, and that's level 4 on the Blade Master, level 4 for the Demon Hunter as well. Shadow Hunter level 3, so it's just a matter of moments before one of these heroes gets taken down, most likely. And it does look like the Blood Mage will be the first one to go down. 3 breakers are going to fall instantaneously after that, and I expect we're going to see a GG called any moment from Yaws and Cechi.
Yeah. This seems over.
Yep.
I think.
Maybe it's a little too early to call the post-mortem since they have not yet started calling GG. There's the GG, but let's go ahead and do some quick takeaways from the game, and why don't you start with Lawliet and Focus?
Okay, I think they did 3 things, or at least 3 things, really well that game. First of all, they start with that Ancient of War to harass Cechi's space, just forced Yaws to go to Cechi's main and help him out, while Cechi was not able to get acolytes, not able to get fiends, not able to creep, not able to do anything, and they just got a huge take advantage from that. They were halfway through before they even started to tech, so they had faster second hero, and they also had the ability to come with the second hero to harass them while they were creeping. So they had Yaws and Cechi had to creep together, basically, and that left them open to other harassments such as sappers, such as zeppelins that were going into Cechi's main all the time. And when they were coordinating so well, Lawliet and Focus, they were always distracting, like staying like Lawliet, he was staying outside Yaws main at some point, while Focus used that Zeppelin inside Cechi's main to kill off the gold mine, and they just got a huge lead from there, and they played really, really well. I have to say that just shows how strong Organidov is as a team.
Yep, and obviously how strong Lawliet and Focus are as well. And obviously things not breaking the way that Cechi and Yaws would have liked this game. We don't need to go too in depth, but what was the main thing that you think they could have done better?
I think their strategy, maybe about goblin creeping and stuff like that, and maybe just play Mountain King or do something that's not too standard, to prevent the heroes from coming in and harassing all the time. But it was really from the start of the game where he placed that Ancient of War. Perhaps Cechi could have dealt with that better, and Yaws could have transferred wood to him if you, for example, engaged that Ancient War with ghouls or something like that. Because that really, they really capitalized from that, and yeah, got a huge lead from that. So.
Yep, all good points. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our next game. So if you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. We'll be having our next game coming up soon. And if you're on YouTube, just look for the next one there.